Hello, thank you for tuning in. Before we start this episode, I would like to mention that we talk about depression and briefly mention suicide. If you are sensitive to this subject, please be aware.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to episode 4 of Chats by My Girlfriend. Today we're talking about all things mental health and yeah.
Yeah, so we asked you again to write us down some questions.
Yeah.
Also, just for the people that watch us on YouTube, I have to speak into the microphone more because last episodes I wasn't doing that because I was looking at Ingrid too much.
Ooh. I mean, I know I look good and everything, but today
Today I gotta turn my head a little bit more to speak into the microphone because this microphone is broken, so
it's okay.
we can't position it.
I get that that's really hard looking at me, like, you know.
Looking at you is
No,
hard.
it's really hard to look
Looking
away.
away.
Obviously, looking at me, look how great I look. Like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, with your granddad sweater on.
Okay, well, it is cold. It's like fucking 5 degrees. Oh, was that like, should I not say that?
It's okay.
It's like 5 degrees to like 1 degree, 0 degrees or something.
We can't
outside.
swear in the first 7 seconds
Yeah.
of the podcast because YouTube will monetize me.
We don't want that.
No, we don't want that. Anyways, let's start with the first question. First of all, mental health is something that we are both very passionate about.
Yeah.
We both struggle a lot mentally, and we're both very open about it because for us, it's like, if we're not open about it, what are we going to do? Like, we have to.
Yeah, and it's not really a thing that we're very embarrassed of, I think. We are both very, very, like, we understand that everybody has their things to struggle with. It's not, like, I honestly, to this day, do not believe that there's a single person out there that does not have something that really, like, makes them struggle. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think some people just change their
mental health
mindset
issues.
on it and just think that it's normal to feel like that. But I think sometimes it's not normal to feel like that, and it's okay to accept that you're not okay and you need to get help.
Yeah.
But it took me a while too, and I think it took you some time too.
Well, I honestly, actually, for me, I think I started out knowing that something was very wrong in the beginning, but people just...
But what is the beginning? What was the beginning where
The-
you started noticing that something was wrong?
When I was, like, in, like, 2nd or 3rd grade.
How old are you then?
I think I was about, like, 8, 9, when we realized that something was not correct. But then, because I wasn't focusing in school, I wasn't able to keep up in school. Like, it was really hard.
Yeah.
My mom and dad thought I had dyslexia, and they sent me in to check for dyslexia. But the doctor said, like, no, nothing's wrong with this one. Like, she does not have dyslexia. Turns out it was something entirely different.
What was it?
ADHD.
We will get into that later.
Yeah.
So we have a question about that because there's a lot of people that have ADHD. You're not the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first question, these are just, I'm just going to ask them in a random order. Being in your 20s and feeling empty, the struggle of that, and feeling like you haven't achieved enough when you're in your 20s.
Yeah.
You are 25, right?
Oh, yeah. I
I'm
am. That
22.
hurt. Oh, I did not
I
like
thought
to
for
hear
a second
that.
that you were 26, but you're 25.
What? You
I'm
would round it up
sorry.
instead of down?
Yeah, I rounded up. I'm sorry.
I feel like I'm 23.
No, you're not 23, baby.
Sweating now.
Yeah. Well,
I don't like
good
that.
because you were cold in the beginning.
Yeah.
Now you're nervous sweating.
You turned the heat up.
I turned the heat up.
Grrr.
But the feeling of not having achieved enough in your 20s, I have this feeling a lot. Do you?
Actually, no.
No?
Like, yes and no. I feel like I achieved... sorry. I feel like I achieved a lot to the point where I have lived so many lives up until now that I am honestly very overwhelmed. But at the same time, I've achieved so much that I didn't necessarily think that I would have. So it's not actually achievements that I think today is something I would have done again.
No, but
Does
it's
that
like,
make any sense
it makes a lot of sense, but I think that's like the whole thing.
about being in your 20s?
You shouldn't have to be proud of everything you did.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to make the same decision again.
Mm.
I did a lot of things too where I'm like, okay, I've done like a lot of things, but is that something that I wanted in the first place?
Yeah.
And then I look back and I'm like, but it gave me experience and it taught me a lesson.
Mm.
So in the end, I do think that I achieved a lot,
Yeah.
even if I didn't want it in the first place.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's like a thing that a lot of people go through. Like, I feel like in your 20s, you're doing so much, like, everywhere. Like, you're doing so many things at the same time, probably trying to discover who you are, what you want to do in your life, everything like that. And then in the end of the day, you don't really know what you want to do or who you are. So you feel like you haven't done anything to achieve anything or like to get anywhere. But if you look back at it, you actually have just tried a lot of different things.
Yeah, and I think it's also, it's the anxiety around being proud of what you've done in your 20s is bigger because we have social media and you can compare yourself to other people. So obviously, if you see this one person on social media that achieved a whole lot of things and built a whole company and is now a millionaire while they're 25, maybe they had a really totally different upbringing than you. Maybe they had more tools to use than you did. So obviously, you can't compare yourself to other people.
Yeah, I saw this article about this guy that was like, 9 or 10 years old. He was gaming on his computer and earned his first 25 million in a year.
I know.
How are you 9, 10 years old doing gaming and earn 25 million a year?
I know.
That to me makes me go, wow, my mom and dad was in the wrong position, making me like...
But that's the whole thing. Like all these LA YouTubers that have so many subscribers and earn just millions with one video. I can't relate.
No.
I started YouTube 2 years ago and I earn like 70 euros a month with the views that I have.
Yeah.
And that's like a plus because I was thinking I'm not going to earn anything on it anyways.
Yeah.
But that's because they were starting it in the right moment, in the right time.
Exactly.
And
I think it's all about timing.
Yeah, but it's also like it was started like YouTube started setting off so much earlier in America. So it's timing and place, like where you're from, who you're surrounded by. So being in your 20s and feeling empty, I think it's a very normal feeling.
Yeah.
Because what are your 20s for? I think 20s are to fail and look back and be like, shit, why did I do that?
Yeah. And I think like in the 20s, when you're feeling empty, you're supposed to feel empty because you're going to start filling up. It's slowly going to start filling up.
You have to be down to go up again.
Yeah, you gotta have an empty cup to be able to fill it. If it's not empty, you can't fill it.
Who told you that?
Wow, I said that. Quote Ingrid.
I'm sorry, I just
2023.
Yeah. Did you just come up with that?
I just came up with that. How proud am I? Mom and dad should be so proud of me. This is an achievement in my 25-year-old.
The glass is not half empty, it's half full.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
that was wise, but that was not yours.
No, it's not mine. But there's another quote that I would like to throw in that didn't come from me, but it was my first manager. I was 15. I just dropped out of school. No, not out of school, because I finished high school and then I started studying, but I didn't finish it because I wasn't doing good mentally. So I took a step back because I was like, I was crying every day about my school because I was like, I don't want to do this. I can't do this. And then I was like, why am I going to do this? Why am I doing this if I know I'm not in the right place mentally to do this right now? I'm not going to force myself to do something. And then my manager told me, whatever you do, make sure that you decide your decision based on what you want. Like if you choose your own path and there's going to be obstacles, then you're going to be able to overcome them because you chose that path anyway. So you're doing it for yourself. Yeah. If you choose a path for your parents or for anyone else that is telling you you want to live up to the expectations of, and there's obstacles, then you're not gonna get over those obstacles because you didn't choose this path. Yeah.
Did we read the same book? Because that is also
which book did you read?
The Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself.
Oh yeah.
They're talking about that because when you make a decision, you gotta make.
Wait, did I read that book?
Yes, you did. You started
Breaking the Habit
of Being yourself by Joe Dispenza. The book that I got you.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't read it yet.
But I think I told you about this.
No, this is my manager. I think she probably read that book and
that is like exactly what is said in that book as well.
That's also a good recommendation for people.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza. That's a really, really good book.
Or Untamed by Glennon Doyle. That's a really good one
book.
too.
But what I was trying to say is, when you make a decision, make sure that you are ready to choose your obstacles, basically.
Yeah.
Like, make sure that it's a decision where the obstacles that comes is obstacles that's worth it.
Because there's going to be obstacles either way.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't matter what you're going to do in your life. There's always going to be obstacles. Now, is the goal and the journey worth it?
Wow. Can we just
we should be just mental health coaches. We should be like...
This is going to be the thumbnail. We just gave each other a really weird handshake for the people that are not watching on YouTube.
We're so awkward.
Should we go to the next question?
We can go to the next question.
So this question is about being uncomfortable with your body shape. So, okay, this is interesting because the person that asked us this was like, I want to know how you deal with being uncomfortable with your own body shape. And then she said, or he said, probably something you both don't deal with, but still.
Ooh.
And that's a big misconception statement, because we may look like we're all confident, but listen, trust me when I say everyone is probably insecure about something.
Social media is very, very fake. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are not. We are definitely also, like, sometimes we also have to deal with being uncomfortable in our own skin.
Yeah. Everybody's affected. Everybody is affected by surroundings, by people, by communities. It's not just like people that's not on social media or people that's not famous.
Yeah.
Like celebrities, people that have a position, a higher position or whatever, or like, you know, people in the spotlight, they all experience
look at the fucking... Oh, sorry. Look at the... I don't know why I had to be so violent about it. Look at the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Like, they may seem like every girl these days wants to look like the Kardashians.
Yeah.
I am a victim of this too. I wanted to have like big, long extensions this summer because I wanted my hair to be like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like, short hair suits me way better.
Mm.
But I was really insecure about that for a while. I was like, I need to have long, long hair, even though I literally got my followers because I cut my hair.
Yeah.
And, you know, Kim Kardashian's hair is so broken. I saw this one video where a hairstylist was breaking down, and in a few clips of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, you can see that like her hair is broken up to her scalp. It's so fake because she wears extensions all the time, and there's nothing wrong with that, but just know you're comparing yourself to people that pay so much money to look like that.
Yeah.
The extensions I was wearing this summer were worth €1,000.
Yeah.
I cannot pay that. I just had it as a collaboration. I would not put so much money into my hair.
Yeah.
But this is not body, like body shape.
There's, you know, it's very often people in the spotlight that gets very affected by this because
Are you affected
by body shape?
Yeah.
I used to be, for sure. When I was modeling, I was doing modeling from when I was 16 years old till now. And in the beginning stages, it was rough. You know, they say so much ugly things about your body right to your face, telling you need to just drop the pizza and the burger because you can start telling by your stomach.
Yeah.
Like shit like that is like, oh.
Yeah, especially
tell
when
that
you're
to a
that
17-year-old. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So definitely. I didn't also, for me, like, I did not have the waist that everybody wanted, you know, like the slim waist. There was no physical way for me to ever gain a slim waist because I have high hip bones and low, what's it called, like rib cage bones. And they're too close to each other, so the space in between those, they're almost no space.
Possible, yeah.
So I could physically never have the slim waist that everybody was like running after, but I was still a very, very skinny person.
Yeah.
So I just looked weird, like proportionately weird when I was that skinny and my stomach was square.
Yeah.
And that was like a thing that I was struggling with. And today I'm so happy with my body type. I have grown to love it so much. And it's honestly like helping with the masculine.
It fits you so well. Your body type fits you perfectly.
Yeah. And I'm very happy with it. I've grown to love it. But yeah, it was not easy those times.
No. So, but like being uncomfortable with your body shape, what would you give as an advice to people that are uncomfortable with their body shape?
I would advise to the most like crazy manners. I think I would advise to unfollow those people that makes your stomach feel sick and makes you really sad when you go on your social media.
Yeah.
Unfollow those people that does not feed you and make you happy.
Yeah.
And follow people that have maybe the same body type as you.
Yeah, but also I think it's okay to not, like, you're never ever maybe going to be fully happy with yourself, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, there's always going to be things maybe that you want to change, which is really sad. Maybe you are. I don't want to say you're never going to be happy about it, but I like, to this day, I still have insecurity. Sometimes I look at my pictures and I'm wearing like a tank top and I'm like, why do my arms look that big when they're really not? But then I just planted the idea out of my head that my arms look too big.
Yeah.
Or when I'm eating a little bit more than normal and I'm a little bit bloated, I'm like so insecure about being in a bikini on the beach. Sometimes I even would do this thing where before I would go to the beach, I just wouldn't eat because I was like, I'm going to be bloated. I'm going to be in a bikini.
Yeah.
I'm just going to eat after the beach, which is not really the best idea if it's 35 degrees outside and you're about to like be in the sun the whole day.
Yeah, it's not good.
No. So I'm just saying, be okay with the fact that there is going to be insecurities and you're not the only one. Like the most pretty girlies maybe out there are definitely 100% insecure about something.
For sure.
That you probably wish that you had, but then they are insecure about it, for example.
Yeah. I think it's also like, it sounds weird to say, but I think a key thing is fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
It's like, I've tried to say this to a lot of my friends that struggle with like body dysphoria and like not being necessarily happy with the way you look. And they ask me a lot like where I get my confidence from. And when I started out like trying to like find my confidence, it was all false. It was I was faking it so much.
I still fake it.
Yeah, and I was faking it so much to the point where I started believing my own lies. Because your brain cannot actually determine which ones are lies and which ones are reality. And say if you say it enough and you believe it, like you like
it actually works when those scenes that
you
see
manipulate
in
yourself.
Yeah, when you see those scenes in movies where people go up to the mirror and be like, "You're confident, you're beautiful, you got this."
Yeah,
like affirmations, that helps.
Yeah, because your brain, like I said, cannot determine what you say to yourself is a lie. And honestly, you go through your whole day saying, "Oh, I look too big right now. I look too skinny right now. I don't like the way my ass looks. I don't like the way my boobies looks. I don't like this." Your brain, that what I'm trying to say is like you say all of these things every day to yourself in your head, while other people may think that that is like a complete lie. So basically, you're lying to yourself through the whole day because it's not true. Your boobs look great. Your ass looks amazing. You look beautiful. Your body is exactly the way it's supposed to be. And you're lying to yourself, telling yourself you look bad. So why the fuck can't you turn that around to say that you look great? You're already lying. Why can't you just lie about looking great and feeling good?
Definitely. This is definitely a great tip. Also, make a playlist. I have a really good playlist. I call it my manic playlist for other reasons, but this playlist is like confident songs that makes me feel like a powerful being. And every time before I go out, I have like I don't feel like going out, but then I put that playlist on, I put my makeup on, I'm like, ooh, I'm feeling myself, and I start making thirst traps on TikTok, and that helps. Make thirst traps on TikTok and draft them. You don't even have to post them. Like, just make it.
It boosts your confidence.
Definitely. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can go to the next question.
Yeah.
Okay. Why is it so hard some days to come out of bed and take care of yourself, take a shower, brush your teeth, get out of bed and start your day? I think it's called depression. Well, that's maybe a big word. It's okay to sometimes have days where you're not feeling like you want to do anything. It's not doesn't necessarily mean that you're depressed. But even if you are depressed and you have maybe longer period of times where you just can't take care of yourself, don't want to get out of bed, don't want to eat because it's too much effort, then you're probably suffering a little bit from depression.
Yeah.
And we are not therapists or something.
No. Jeez, don't take our like words.
Don't be like, oh, Ingrid and Armia said that and if I cannot get out of bed, then I'm depressed.
Yeah.
That's not what I mean, but I mean to say sometimes you have to accept it and give yourself some time. Like, you know, calling in sick for work when you're having a really rough day mentally, that counts. Because if you're actually sick and you're having a migraine and you can't go to work, that's valid. But if you're actually really not feeling good and you're unmotivated and you can't even get up to make yourself food, then give yourself a day off and stay in bed and watch that movie and comfort yourself.
Yeah. Mental health matters as much as physical health.
Yeah. And I can't say that enough.
Yeah.
People don't get that sometimes. And I think that's also a generation difference.
That is definitely a generation
Gender?
Gender issue. To be continued in the next episode.
Yeah, that's going to be the next episode. Spoiler alert. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. Why is it so hard some days? I don't know. Some days are just harder. Life is hard. What can we say? Life is not all blossom and flower and sunshine.
I think it's a part of the human experience.
Oh, you make it sound so fun.
The human experience?
No,
It's
depression.
shit. Oh. I would avoid that at all costs.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Yeah, it could also mean that you have ADHD or other things. There's lots of things that can determine if, like, why you're struggling to get out of bed. I definitely feel very overwhelmed some days, to the point where the tasks that I know I have to do is too much, and I go into freeze mode. I forget to brush my teeth, not because I'm lazy, but because I genuinely do forget. Like, my brain cannot comprehend it. I forget to drink water, which I know is very important, but I just generally do not think that it's such an important thing to do, so my brain just removes it from tasks to do through the day.
Yeah.
And if I am hyper-focusing on something, I don't even eat.
Or go to the toilet.
Or go to the toilet. I literally get, like, a pain in my stomach.
Because you don't pee.
I forget to go to pee.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, why
But
does my stomach hurt so much?
That's the thing. I think... Aw, that's so sad. Well, lucky Ingrid, because now I'm here to remind her to do things. Like, I literally sometimes tell you, like, go do this. Go drink some water. I'll just bring you, like, a cup of water. Be like, drink this, because I know you haven't been drinking water the whole day. But I think if you really think that there is something wrong with you, or you think something is really off and it's, like, bugging your daily tasks to a point where you can't live a normal life, then I think it's definitely smart to maybe make an appointment with a doctor and try to see a therapist. I have the opinion that I think everyone should at least go to a therapist once in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe multiple times, but definitely once. And of course, you need to be open for therapy. But I really believe that therapy is good for everyone. And everyone needs it. Everyone needs it. And even to just, like, have some self-reflection, be self-aware of your patterns, sometimes it can really open your eyes. And of course, you need a good therapist, because not all therapists are able to do something good.
And therapy doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're gonna go digging into your trauma. You can set your own boundaries when you go into therapy. Like, that's really important. I think a lot of people are afraid of going to therapy because they think that the therapist is gonna just deep dive into all of your trauma and your...
If they do that, it's a bad therapist, and you are allowed to find another one.
Yeah, and you're also allowed to say, no, thank you, I'm not interested in talking about that.
Or, like, Ingrid, just not show up to your appointment.
Yeah.
My God, you gotta tell them this.
My therapist is so done with me because she's scheduled me for, like, 3 therapy sessions now, and I haven't showed up on any single one of them.
No, but that's because you just forgot.
I honestly genuinely forget, and, like, that's why I'm going to therapy, though, because my memory is just not
and that's why your therapist is not mad. But literally, you forgot about it one day, and I was like, "Didn't you have therapy today?" And you went, "Oh."
And then
shit,
I got a
forgot
new
again.
therapist appointment.
The next day, you got a new therapy appointment, and I was like, and then it was like, you had it at 2, and then we were, like, having our dinner, and we didn't do. I think we watched The Holiday.
Yeah.
We watched a movie. We were in Christmas theme. We were, like, chill, and all of a sudden I go, "Baby, didn't you have that therapist appointment today?" She goes, "Oh no, again."
And I have a new one now on the 5th, so let's just hope that I remember that one.
I think mine is, like, on the 9th, so it's, like, kind of close to each other. We gotta remind each other.
Yeah, and it's funny because I went to therapy, like, a year before this, like 1.5 years before this, and they dropped me from therapy because I stopped showing up.
Yeah,
but honestly, that's
because
because I pissed off, because they started, like, crossing my boundary, and I was telling them, like, I didn't want to do certain things, and they were like, "If you don't do it, you don't get therapy." I'm like, "That's not how it works, bitch. I pay you."
Yeah, exactly. You're working for me.
You working for me.
Exactly. But yeah, take care of yourself and give yourself time. It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
I really.
Yeah. My voice stops
Yeah,
working
for your
every
water.
time.
You
I
can
know,
drink
that's
some
why I'm,
water.
like, drinking it, but I don't want to make too much noise.
It's okay.
ASMR, everyone.
I'm so sorry for everyone to hear that.
Sorry about that.
Can you do some ASMR with your bottle?
With my bottle?
Yeah. Oh wait, you don't have nails. Okay, if you guys want to have an ASMR episode, we can do that. We can do, like, an episode where we whisper the whole time.
Yeah, like, "Hey everybody, it's been so nice to talk to you guys today. I cannot wait to talk
Oh my god.
ASMR.
This is either really nice and soothing or it's super cringe and you're scaring away
You look
all of our
really
followers.
good right
Stop
now.
it.
I'm so attracted.
Stop.
Ow, that hurt.
We could just make a separate episode on ASMR and then people can click it. Because I know some people cringe so much they just have to
I
stop.
love ASMR.
Me too. But that's a different subject. That's
Okay.
for another episode.
For another episode.
Do you want to do the next question?
Which one is it? I don't have my glasses.
Well, you probably can't read mine.
No.
Well, then you're just going to answer it right away. How to deal with overthinking?
Ooh. I either do this never or just too much. And there's never in between
I think
with
that's
me.
the whole problem.
Sometimes I just don't think to the point where, like, I feel like you can hear echoes inside of my brain. Like, it's so
That's
quiet.
deep.
No, it's like, it's so quiet sometimes. But then I'm like, I think it's just because I'm dissociating.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. You should tell your therapist about this.
and then I just overthink to the point where I could, like, literally explode. Like, my whole body starts to itch and I'm severely uncomfortable and I cannot sit still. And I'm just thinking and thinking, full on blown anxiety. I'm literally getting anxiety just thinking about how do I deal with it? I don't know. I don't have anything
You
right
don't.
now. I literally go to therapy because I have anxiety because I think too much.
Yeah.
If somebody have any tips, I would love to hear it because it's so tough.
Can I have some of that water too?
Yeah, you can.
Thank you. Why are you making it a flirt thing? I'm just asking
Of
for your
course you
water.
can have my water. Anything for you, baby.
I was gonna make a really inappropriate joke, but I swallowed it.
Yeah. Go ahead and swallow it.
That's not what I meant.
I'm here to bring the
no.
jokes alive. The inappropriate jokes.
Anyways, yeah. Enough of that.
Mm. What was the question? Oh, yeah.
How to deal with overthinking?
How
Can
do you
I-
deal with that?
I actually I have some ways how I deal with it because I suffer a lot from overthinking. I am gonna say this again. I'm a Virgo. Okay, and also I need to stop putting
You got judged for that one the last
blaming.
time.
I know blaming everything on my zodiac sign, and I will still do it. I don't care about you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But how do I deal with overthinking? I mostly overthink when I'm in bed at night and I'm trying to sleep, and then my mind is awake, and my anxieties are awake, and I'm just not sleeping. I can lay awake until 4 a.m. or not sleep at all. Maybe
Yeah.
last time I fell asleep like at 7 in the morning, and I woke up like 11 because I was overthinking the whole night. But what I try to do sometimes is just when I can sense that my mind is a little bit anxious, and when I can sense that I'm not tired enough yet, I just wait with going to bed. I scroll some more on my phone, or I really want to be that person that says, I go read a book.
You don't.
But I know you are not. I know you were going to expose me for that.
Yeah.
So, but you know, if reading helps for you, maybe do that. What I did when I was like 15, 16, and I was a lot in my feelings and didn't know where to put it, I would write it down in my journal. So writing is literally my biggest tip on overthinking. Get those thoughts out of your brain and try to rationalize it on paper.
Yeah.
Because you make things big in your head, like your mind plays games on you.
Mm.
So put it on paper, and then the next day you can read it back and be like, damn,
Yeah.
I was really thinking about stupid things that don't actually matter.
Yeah.
So that's my tip. Don't force yourself to go to sleep if you're just simply not able to. And also, like, I don't know, or something that might help.
Ooh. Can
Can we say that? No, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe I'll cut that out.
I think you should. Yeah. I read the
I will
book.
bleep it out.
Yeah. I read the book. I think. I just read books.
Yeah.
I deep dive into another world, another place, because I cannot think about what's going on in
Yeah.
my life at the moment.
Or if it helps, maybe talking to someone.
Yeah, that might work for
I,
people.
uh,
It does not
I
work for me.
shower
I
it on
don't
Ingrid.
talk.
I
Yeah.
shower all my overthinking is on Ingrid. Sometimes that's not good.
And I just do not talk about it ever.
Yeah.
I just.
But I
keep it.
mean, call your friend if you really think like, oh, I need to tell someone these things. Like, I hope you have someone that you can trust and talk about.
Yeah.
I do it with Ingrid. She's so tired of me, but I mean, she loves me, so she will
I know
accept
more
it.
things than I need to.
She knows more about me than I do, honestly. Because my thoughts, I forget them, and then sometimes Ingrid does not.
And I
then
have to quote them and remind them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways. Let's see. I need like a marker to like mark which one we already have. But it's okay. We'll get that for the next episode. Okay, yeah. The struggles of living with ADHD/depression. I mean, I guess that's kind of like what we're covering in this whole episode.
Yeah, we're kind of just deep diving into it.
We're deep diving into everything.
Yeah.
I mean, Ingrid already gave some of the points of ADHD.
Yeah, it's shit. I had this comment on my TikTok the other day, and I'm still thinking about it to this day because it really stabbed me in my stomach because it made me so pissed. But somebody said, because I have been posting a little bit about having ADHD on my TikToks, and somebody said ADHD is an actual severe illness that people have, and I don't think you should be like posting about it like as if it's a fun thing that you have. I was like, what on earth would make you think that it's... Anyways, at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is it's not weird if you have ADHD and you're struggling with it in your day-to-day life and it's being such a big toll and a heavy weight on you through your days. It's not weird if you want to promote it like in a fun way and crack a joke about it. Like, I think you should be able to do that.
Definitely. I think a lot of people make these comments like, oh, mental health is like, it's so trendy now to talk about mental health. Like,
it's like,
no,
it's a serious thing. It's a serious matter. Exactly. Why are you out there making fun of it? Like, literally, it's a coping mechanism for a lot of people.
I mean, it just became like from like a taboo to something that people openly speak about. Thank God. Yeah. Because finally these kids are getting the right treatment that they need.
Yeah.
And you know how high suicide levels are. I'm so sorry, trigger warning.
Yeah. It's very high, and it's because literally people don't get the treatment that they need. People don't even understand what's wrong with them. I literally went, 21 years without knowing that I have ADHD.
Yeah, and then, I mean, your whole life, you thought you were just not good enough to finish school. You thought you were just, like, dumber than other people, or
why
that
can't
you just
I focus?
Do certain things that it wasn't even your fault. It's literally a mental illness.
Yeah. And for 21 years you blame yourself.
Exactly.
You think that you are the problem. Like what am I doing wrong that everybody else is like completely fine with doing?
Yeah. So I don't care that people think that we crack jokes about it. Like, I know what's real and I know our followers know what's real. Sometimes humor is like a really good way to cope with things.
I only cope with humor.
Exactly. And I think it's so good that there's so many more people talking about it, even if some people may be like who are you to decide that it's like just a trend for someone, or that they actually struggle with it? What is it? It's
what
not
do you know
not even
about
any
my
one
life?
Of your business. Yeah.
Like, what do you know about how I spend my days and what I go through in life? What the do you know?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. So the struggles of living with ADHD/depression. I think it's
it's a hellhole. You forget everything. You don't remember anything. You overthink.
I don't have ADHD, by the way.
No, you stress and your whole body is like aching because you have so much energy and you're like constantly like in a loop. Like, you don't feel like you can like achieve anything, and at the same time you one day wake up and you can achieve everything and you do everything and you hyperfixate and you make a whole brand and you make a whole ass clothing line, and then like 3 months go by and you're like, nah,
I don't want to do this anymore.
I'm done.
I mean,
and then you gotta find a new hobby, a new interest.
If any one of you guys followed our Made by My Girlfriend account, that's what Ingrid did over the summer. She was crocheting a lot.
Yeah.
She was making little bikini tops, and I was supporting it because I was like, we need to exploit this hyper focus.
Yeah.
And then she stopped, and now we're doing a podcast. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's mainly my hyper focus, I guess, because I'm doing all the editing. But I mean, you have to show up all the time and you like it.
Yeah, I do.
But I don't think this is a hyper focus.
No, I think right now my hyper focus is books.
Books, definitely.
I am not like you. I'm reading on the toilet. I'm reading when I'm driving. I'm not.
No,
actually,
she's not reading.
But
don't read while driving.
Do not.
Kids.
But I read all the time right now.
Yeah.
I forget to pee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next question, if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really think this question is very important. How to tell people around you that you're not doing well. This person I was asking it was specifically talking about how to tell your parents. This is a really hard one.
Yeah.
This is a really hard one because, like,
I don't think I ever told my parents.
You didn't?
Mm-mm. Like they just figured when I said that I wanted to go to therapy. But when I was going to therapy, I was 19, 20. So I was capable of just going there by myself. I didn't need my mom and dad to tell me I could or could not go.
Yeah. Well, I was forced to talk about it with my parents because they just found out that I was really not doing good. I'm like,
well, you lived with your parents as well. I think that's a big
no, but
one.
that was like, I mean, you were also struggling when you were 15, 14.
Yeah, I
But
didn't
you
tell them
moved
though.
to no, exactly.
Yeah.
You didn't tell them. I didn't want to tell them either, but they just figured. And they sent me to therapy because I was doing things to cope with it and it was showing. So people, I mean, my mom noticed and she sent me to therapy. I'm like, should I talk about this or? Because it's like.
You don't have to go into detail. You can just overall say
Yeah.
the explanation. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, so I got sent to therapy because it was getting obvious from people around me. But I think later on, actually, I've always been sent to therapy by my parents because it's just showing too much. I'm really bad at masking it.
Yeah.
So my family and my sisters or my parents will tell me like, you have to go back to therapy. So that's kind of how I talk about it. But if it doesn't mean that when people around you don't notice it, that it's not as valid because some people are maybe very good at masking it. That's a thing in therapy as well. Like, oh, you are good at masking. Like my therapist would ask like, okay, how is your mask? How good is your mask? Because some people, you don't notice anything about them, but maybe mentally they're doing so bad.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about it with the people around you, I think just try to maybe write down. I will always go back to writing. Because sometimes there was moments that I needed to talk to my mom about certain things that I was scared of talking about because they were about my mental health. And I remember last year I wrote it down in a letter. And then because I was so scared to talk about it, I told my mom I wanted to tell her something, but that I was scared of telling her. So that I had my letter in my notebook that I wanted to read for her. So I just needed her to listen to me. And then she did. She was sitting down. She was listening. I even had my sisters come with me.
Yeah.
So we had like a little safe space. I created a safe space around me where I could just like talk easily about the things that were bugging me. Because if I wouldn't write it down, I would drift away and be like, never mind.
Yeah.
You know? And then I would change the subject. But now, because I had it on a paper, I was like, okay, so I think this was when I was deciding that we were getting back together. This is what it was about. I was like, okay, listen, I need to talk about something.
Yeah.
So I think, and you have to keep in mind some people maybe will not ever understand you.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay. It has nothing to do with you. It has more to do with them. It says more about them than it says about you.
Yeah. I agree on that one.
Yeah. Anything you'd like to add?
No, like I said, like I've always masked my whole life. I don't think a lot of people understand that I'm
masked. Because you're a masked lesbian.
You're so funny.
I know.
No, I've been masking my whole life. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people knew that I was depressed ever. I think a lot of people thought that I was very extroverted, very happy, very bubbly. When you see me out in public, I'm very, like, with my friends and stuff, I'm very, like...
You are a very bubbly person.
Yeah.
But you can be a very bubbly personality and still deal with certain things.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I didn't have to tell anybody because nobody asked and nobody wondered. And, but if you feel like you want to tell somebody, then...
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah. Next question.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling like your mental health is dependent on your partner or dependent on someone else. It could be dependent on your best friend or your sister or your partner. In my case, it was dependent on you for a while. Maybe it still is, actually. But that's okay.
Yeah.
As long as you make sure that you talk about things and that
communication is key.
Communication really is key. And of course, it's not good if your mental health is dependent on someone else.
No, but it's very, very hard to avoid. Because, like, obviously, to a certain degree, my mental health is also dependent on you. Because if you feel like absolute shit and you just want to lay in bed and you feel really, really bad, then I'm going to go into, like, a mode of, like, because I instead of, I don't go and feel bad myself necessarily, but I get anxious. I'm like, what can I do to make sure that you are better? So I go into this pattern of like overthinking everything. So I'm like I'm stepping over my own boundaries to make sure that you start feeling better and that you feel great again. And if you don't feel better, if you keep staying in that mindset and feeling bad,
You feel like it's your fault.
I feel like it's my fault. I feel like I'm not being the best girlfriend that I can be and the best person for you. And I all of a sudden I blame the relationship. I blame everything. I'm like,
and then you're like, shit. Well, what is left for me to do? Everything is a lost cause.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a toxic circulation that you can get stuck into. But you know, mental health is a very complicated thing. Don't blame yourself for it. Don't blame other people for it. It's just there, you know. We live in a society that is like, I feel like the society that we live in makes us mentally fucked.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different story. That's a whole different conversation. But I feel like it's normal to have these struggles. And if you are dependent on someone else for your mental health, like I think what you are feeling now, like what you explained is you caring about me, you caring about your partner. But I guess in some relationships, people just completely fall on their partner. I think we don't have that anymore, but we had this stage at some point as well that I was just like living for you basically, and I would do anything for you. And if sometimes it would be too much for you or the other way around. I think that's something that is dangerous. I think you need to try to have your own life.
Yeah, have your own life. I was going to say that.
That's the
so
most important thing.
Yeah. Like, for example, like what we have been struggling a little bit with is like if I have things to do and you don't, then like I feel bad for not bringing you along, and I know you feel bad for having to stay home, or vice versa. If you have a lot of things you do, if you go to Amsterdam and you have packed days with things you need to do, and I'm sitting home babysitting our kid and our 2 cats, and I can't go anywhere, and I see you doing all these crazy things and like being so happy, I'm like it you know.
Yeah. And I sometimes it's hard to be happy for your partner and be like, okay, I'm just gonna let you do this and enjoy this, and then I'm gonna do this and enjoy this. And I think, but that's probably like a lot of time will heal that, I think. Communication. Yeah. And also sometimes it is okay to feel a little bit shitty about.
Yeah. It just is what it is. It's kind of like,
that's kind of like the whole thing of getting into a relationship. You decide to live your life with someone, so obviously you're gonna affect each other's mental health as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Then the last question. I think this is a really good question to round it up. How do you take care of your mental health? Like, what do we do? Sorry, I just had to burp.
Okay.
I swallowed my burp.
Yeah.
What do we do to take care of our mental health? So what are things you do to make sure that you stay okay, and what are things that I do to stay okay? Or did we not find those things yet, and are we just like doing whatever?
I feel like that's my answer to all of these things lately.
Kind of. I think if I can speak for you, routine, and then maybe you can...
Routine, 100%, yeah. I need a healthy routine. I need stability. That definitely helps my mental health a lot. But I have a way of self-sabotaging, so it's like the second I get routine and stability, I fuck it up. But
I have the same, and I'm like, this is too boring. I want something more exciting, and then I start doing
that's a toxic pattern with your life. That's not good. But no, I think what I do is I spend a lot of time with myself.
Yeah.
For me to make sure that I have good mental health, I spend time with myself. I'm not afraid of being alone. So I write in diary, and I read a lot. I read a lot about mental health. And if that's too much, I read just normal fantasy books. And I just do everything I can by myself. I like being creative. I find hobbies. I always just like...
Yeah, you find a lot of things to do. And I always admire you for that, because I sometimes, when I'm like stuck, I am stuck. I cannot do anything. I fall into depression very quickly.
Yeah.
Because I find it hard to have a hobby.
Yeah, you start scrolling on your phone a lot.
Yeah, but like I have hobbies. Like I love drawing, I love journaling, I love writing and reading. But when I'm stuck mentally, I don't want to do any of these things. That's kind of my issue. So
You gotta force yourself.
you gotta force yourself, but I can't. Sometimes you just can't.
Yeah, I get it.
And I really struggle with that. But
yeah.
for me, then it just helps to like not be hard on myself, not guilt trip myself, and be like, okay, if you think that it's okay to just go back into your bed for now, I am very
Be nice.
learning to be nice to myself. Like I had my, okay, this is like a very cute thing that I did last year. I have my cry playlist, right? Because sometimes you gotta cry it out. That's what I do. I cry a lot. I'm big on crying. Sometimes when I feel like a mental breakdown is coming, I just go drive, put my cry playlist on, and I cry like hysterically. Hysterically, like tears rolling down my cheeks. But yeah, my cry playlist was called When Feeling Down first. And then last year, my therapist told me you have to be nicer to yourself. So I changed the name to Give Yourself a Hug. And now every time that I feel like I have to cry, I put my Give Yourself a Hug playlist on. And I feel like, oh, this is like soothing for me. Like, this is nice.
That's cute.
Yeah. So be nice to yourself and do the things that make you happy.
Fresh air. 5 minutes every day. Do it.
What?
Fresh air.
I thought you said fresher.
No, fresh air.
Yeah.
5 to 10 minutes every day. Just do it. Even if it means shoving your face outside the window right by your bed, do it.
I do that sometimes.
You can even just open up the window while you're in bed. But make sure you get fresh air. And if you can, D vitamins, sunshine. It's literally the most natural thing out there, and it helps so much. It sounds crazy, but if you do that every day and you have a routine of but just 5 to 10 minutes.
You need to start taking your D vitamins too.
I need to do that. But that's another thing that I keep forgetting about.
Yeah.
But yeah. No.
I think that was it.
I think that was it. Yeah. I think we should round
this
it up
episode.
now because we have been ranting. We have so much to say about mental health. Like we could go on and on and on. It's not.
We could make a second episode about this.
We really could.
If we want to. But for now, be nice to yourself. We love you so much.
Give your best friend or friends a hug. Give somebody a hug.
Yeah.
Let them know that.
Call your comfort person and tell them that you love them.
Yeah, let them know that you care about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. For now.
Oh, wait.
What? Oh!
Shout out.
Shit. But I forgot to write the name down.
Ah, shit. Well.
Maybe I will do it while I'm editing. I'll just be like, hello.
Yeah, we could do that.
I can do that.
Yeah. Okay, so cue Aronia editing. She will tell you who gets a shout out this time.
This week we would like to shout out the username VKCNO. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for sharing us in your story. We're very grateful for you and we really hope you're going to like the next episodes.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. We'll see you and talk to you in our next episode.
Yes.
Bye.